And here's the thing, pal. We saw this last year. Skinner needs to be shut down, recharge the batteries, and then he comes back in and he plays better than he has all season long. And here we are, Edmonton Oilers, this inevitable team that no one can figure out, rolls on, and I'm saying it, Vegas is dead. Oilers keep going.
I'm going to choose not to eat with you. I'm going to take my breakfast over here. I'm going to reset. I'm going to recharge the batteries. I'm going to hit the reset button. I'm going to come out. He won't give the net up again for the rest of the playoffs, Dan. Mark my words. He won't give up the net again for the rest of the playoffs.
Ice is ready, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast, brought to you by BetMGM. I am your host, Dan Powers. This man once went to a restaurant to watch a sushi eating competition and then ate more sushi than both of the competitors. He's an insane person. He's Chris Powers.
As always.
That was one of the more impressive things I've ever seen when that happened.
It was hilarious because the contestants were only eating sushi, and
Buddy,
I was eating.
I was there. I watched the whole
other
thing.
things because I was like, "Well, I'm not part of this, so I don't need to like save stomach space. So I'm gonna have some veggie tempura, some gyoza,
Some edamame.
garlic.
The biggest one was beers. You were
Beers.
sucking down Sapporos.
Boom, Sapporo.
And you know what's mental to me? What did they have, like 50 pieces?
Yeah.
If I didn't say anything, you wouldn't have either. You would have just gone about your life knowing in your head what happened and not telling anyone.
Yeah.
These guys were counting the pieces that they had had. One of them tapped out, and the other one was, I think he was hovering around 50.
Yeah.
Shout out Marty. And he was like, I don't even think I can get to 50. And I eventually looked at you and go, how many have you had, Chris? And I think he had like 47 and you were like 49.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Boom.
I also want to say to everyone, these were fat pieces of sushi,
Dude.
not spicy tuna roll pieces.
I'm talking imitation crab, son.
We're
I'm
talking
imitation crab.
specialty rolls, bitch.
God
Big
damn,
fat
dude.
daddies.
Two-biter.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Two-biter,
They
some
weren't
of them.
Two-biters. What are you, a bitch, dude?
got a small
Two-biting a sushi. We are in the midst of one of the craziest Stanley Cup playoffs of all time. There's no doubt about that. Everything is absolutely insane. Our live show this morning was so electric. So many fun people joining the show. Shout out Eddie Lack. Shout out Johnny Laz. Shout out all the listeners, all the people
Who's
in the
Eddie's
chat.
boy?
Ryan.
Shout
Beauty.
out Ryan.
And we've got a lot to get into. I do have to say to you both, though, and we had one guy, maybe two guys in the YouTube comments last week that didn't appreciate how long we talked about the papal conclave.
Yeah.
First of all, sorry. Second of all, there are chapters you can skip ahead if you don't want to talk about anything other than hockey for just a few minutes.
We put the chapters in.
Forgive me that I want to talk about something other than hockey with my friends for just a few minutes.
We put the chapters in on purpose.
Yeah.
They don't go in by accident.
And then third of all, fuck you, I'm going to talk about something other than hockey for a few minutes.
There's a couple, yeah.
Guys.
Good.
Every day I wake up and I look at the NHL slate and figure out what games we're going to watch, and I get excited. But something happened today that excited me to no end, and that was the beginning of the Diddy trial.
Dude.
If I could have the platform to talk about the Diddy trial for an hour and a half as a podcast episode, I would do it. I'm not going to do that to you guys.
Dude, we might start a spin-off
I
pod.
legitimately might start it, and it would be called...
Come on, dude. This would be so sick.
The Freak Off, Peek Off. Taking a peek into the Freak Offs.
Yep. What'd you say, Wags?
Whoa.
The Diddlers.
That would be the name of the fans.
Yeah.
Is it really surprising that a man who called himself Diddy is diddling? Did he? Diddle?
He?
Yes, he did.
Dude.
I don't think either of you are processing how big of a moment this is. This is our...
What came out? Am I missing something?
So this was day one of the trials, and we've got... Get your mic. Let the people hear your interest in this.
My mic is here.
There you go. This was day one. We had the 12 jurors announced, and I'm going to read the 12 jurors to you guys. And the 6 alternates. We've heard some of the people that will be testifying. including Cassie.
Yeah, dude, she almost went today. And then they cross-examined that pimp, that gigolo.
That literal pimp, dude.
For so long that he's...
Pepper Jack.
He's still going.
Pepper Jack needs to get paid.
Dude, he's still going. He's going to fucking...
Pepper Jack is on the stand.
Pick him up tomorrow.
Dude, so what's happening right now, guys, is this is our Alamo. This is our generation's OJ. Our generation's Menendez brothers.
It's way bigger than that.
But our parents went through trials where they were all captivated.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got 2 months of this shit.
Yep. Dude, get to the jury, because there were fucking 45 candidates, and that had got intense questioning over 3 days.
Yeah.
That's been narrowed down and narrowed down.
And now we've got 12. And I also would like to say this, man. I can't believe that this isn't televised. So in the state of New York, federal trials do not have photos or video. So all we're gonna get is courtroom sketch artist drawings, and they're already fucking crazy. They're
always
like oil
crazy.
paintings.
I didn't even know that there was the trial today, and I live on social media.
Yeah, dude, which we need.
We'll
we
get
need to
dialed,
fix
bro.
that.
Hey, Diddy trial. Now you're gonna get a ton of it.
Was
can't
Depp
believe-
here? Was Depp in California?
Yes.
That's why the whole thing was on.
Yeah.
Was on.
Same with OJ. Same with the Menendez brothers.
television, dude.
I
Sick.
would legitimately sell my firstborn child for video of this trial. I would take a leave of absence from this job, and I would sit at home and live stream every minute of this trial. Can you believe the shit that these jurors are going to see?
I wish it was on TV so badly, but you can get a lot. The Times and the Post, and everybody is live blogging it.
But
basically.
I need to see it.
I know.
These jurors are going to see video of major celebrities, major people getting rim jobbed, allegedly, in these freak-offs.
It's going to be on Netflix in 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, there are no cameras.
Are they going to reenact it?
I don't want that though. I want the real thing.
Someone's filming.
If
right?
if any
know
of
there's
these
no cameras.
jurors are listening to this podcast,
Somebody's filming.
Got the meta glasses, the Ray-Bans on.
dude, put a fucking hidden
man.
camera on your shirt for the love of God. There's got to be like one camera, right? There's got to be one that they don't tell
courtroom
people
camera?
about. Like
There's
I
someone.
need it.
Because what if something happened?
I
There's gotta be footage
need it.
of a
Diddy
attack,
off in the
assault.
courtroom?
Yeah.
Here, are you ready for the jurors? Because I
Yeah.
promised the listeners we wouldn't spend too much time on the Diddy trial.
Yeah.
Juror number 2, a 69-year-old male from Manhattan who works as an actor and massage therapist. He listens to classical, jazz, and rock music, and his hobbies include music, theater, biking, and hiking.
And baby lotion.
Juror number 5, a 31-year-old male from Manhattan who works as an investment analyst. He plays sports and video games. Juror number 25, a 51-year-old male from Manhattan who has a PhD in molecular biology and neuroscience. He listens to classical music and opera, and his hobbies include art, science, cooking, and the outdoors. Juror number 25 is a fucking G.
Yeah.
That's an
Absolute
high-class individual.
That's an absolute dog.
Juror number 28, a 30-year-old female from the Bronx working as a deli clerk. She listens to hip-hop and reggaeton and reads and plays video games.
Play video games?
I bet her and juror number 5 are talking about vids.
Me too. But they're not allowed to
Where
talk,
the fucking
actually, so.
GTA 6, bro? Where is it? Juror number 55, a 42-year-old... a 42-year-old female from Manhattan who is an aide in a nursing home. She likes to cook and paint and watch Harry Potter and Disney movies.
Let's go.
Juror number 58, a 41-year-old male from the Bronx who works in communications and at a correctional facility. He listens to reggaeton and 90s hip-hop, and his hobbies include sports and fantasy football.
Say video games. Oh, God.
Juror number 75, a 68-year-old man from Westchester County who is retired from a bank. He listens to Indian music and plays cricket and volleyball. I wonder if that man is Indian. Juror number 116, a 68-year-old man from Westchester County who is retired from working at a telecommunications company. He listens to rock music and likes to bowl and golf. Why is music such a problem? I guess it's because it's a Diddy. Bowl and golf. Juror number 160, a 43-year-old female from Westchester County who works as a physician assistant. She listens to R&B and hip-hop, and she dances. Is Westchester that big? Do all these people know each other?
I've always wondered that about New York because that's where Chatsky's from.
I feel like
Bedford
people from
specifically.
Westchester know each other.
So then every time I meet someone from New York, I go, where are you from? And they go, Westchester. And I'm like, oh.
Do you know Andrew Chapman?
Yeah. And
They all say yes.
Do you think they made him pull up their Spotify Wrapped to be
Yes.
sure he didn't have
Dude,
his
in
Diddy
the
on
article,
there?
that like
no, they
pretty
made
much
sure.
everyone here obviously knows who Diddy is. Crazy. Juror number 184, a 39-year-old male from the Bronx who is a social worker. He listens to R&B and popular music from West Africa and also watches sports. Juror number 201, a 67-year-old male from Westchester County who works as a logistics analyst. His hobbies include woodworking and bike riding. Gas. And juror number 217, a 74-year-old female from Manhattan who works at a treatment as a treatment coordinator. She listens to classical music and likes to travel. So there are our jurors. We have 6 alternates.
Why are they so old?
Well, you got to do the range, baby. But we had to get.
But
I
there's
think
a lot of
it's.
60-year-olds.
I think it said it ranges from 30 to 74. Yeah.
Okay.
Just gonna pass away before the trial ends.
All. Christ, that's ageist, bro. I can't believe that we don't get any video from this, but I am telling you, man, I am so tapped into this. I care more about the result of this than I do about who wins the Stanley Cup, and it's not even close.
Yep.
Because
And
I want
heads
to roll, brother.
fucking
What
roll.
if,
I'm telling you-
during the Stanley Cup Finals they decided to live broadcast the Diddy hearing, like the final of it? Would you not watch the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, game 7.
Yeah, literally, it's like on at the same time.
100% I'd miss it.
Would you put it in like the
If actually,
the
Wags,
Sports Center,
If-
2 different TVs playing at the same
yeah,
time?
yeah. Or have the Stanley Cup on my phone while I'm at the Diddy trial. I'm telling you right now, if I was guaranteed that big dogs were going to go down, I would skip the Stanley Cup for this. I want the state of Hollywood to be shaken to its core.
Me too.
With the result of this.
Because they
all
deserve
of
it.
these fucking scumbags, dude, that you know what you did. You know you were involved. And you know that you were doing something horrible when you were doing it, and I want you to fucking burn for it. I want you to burn at the stake. I want to go back to medieval times and make these sons of bitches walk through the street while we throw tomatoes and cabbage at them. And
way
then they-
worse
And
than
then they
that.
get strapped to the fucking guillotine.
Yeah,
dude.
there we go. Now we're
Now
talking.
let's go.
I want heads cut off, literally.
Literally.
Like, I don't want them. And dude, I want
And
the
I want
biggest
the
names.
children of our. I want the children who are our future to kick those heads like soccer balls down the street.
I want
the Game of Thrones Walk of Shame.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah, getting
I
naked.
want that. I want the
Oprah,
walk
dude.
of atonement.
Oprah naked, walking from
See,
Times
take
Square
it
to
easy.
DC.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I'm like, go ahead, dude.
Allegedly.
I have a couple questions about this.
If you were involved in this, burn. Burn, baby, burn. Let it burn all night.
Here's a question I have. I can't probably talk about some of this, but I got jury duty, right?
Yeah.
And there's a process to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it,
I'm going to tell you right now, you can't talk about
yeah,
this.
a lot of it.
Certainly not
the
on this forum,
The story is
you idiot.
hilarious too. I wish I could tell it, but you can't. I don't understand what they said because the people were like, "Hey, are you familiar with this person at all?" Like, and everyone here is like, "Yeah." Like they had to go. I have no prejudice in this case, and I'm like, "Surely you do."
So it says all of them were, obviously they all said, I will be unbiased in my view on this case, but every single one of them has been like, I am aware who this human being is.
Yeah.
But I think that with the lawyers and the judge in this case, they're like, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was like oh no, they know who Diddy is.
But usually they kind of go. Well, I guess this is kind of always.
It actually, can I jump in here?
Yeah.
It says multiple of the jurors who were selected admitted that they were aware of the, and had seen photos with the Cassie lawsuit.
They had seen. The previous.
Yeah. And they still chose them.
Did you see that shit about the CNN getting that video of, and this is not allegedly, of Diddy wailing on Cassie in that hotel room?
Oh, yeah.
Just like violently
Oh, yeah.
beating and kicking his girlfriend. That CNN is like, we're the only ones who have this copy of this video and we've destroyed it. And I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Who was literally sitting on that video while that was going down in the first place? Who had their hands on that video and it didn't matter? They were like, oh, I'm just not going to report this.
Insane.
It's already chaotic, Dan. The jury shit blows my mind because I have so many questions about that. But here's where I wanted to steer it, and we won't stay on this too long, but I just love the justice system is flawed, but it's the best we got. and we're doing the best we can out here. I think it fucks up all the time. Perjury, to your point, should be punishable by death if we gave a fuck, if we gave a rat's about anybody telling the truth.
If we actually cared about people telling the truth.
Dude, we would make it punishable.
You're going to get shot into the sun if you lie.
So it's all fucked.
But we don't care.
It's all fucked.
We're going to put them in your front closet under a box
and my
and
dad,
let them scramble.
My dad will bash
We're talking.
My dad will bash your head in.
We'll absolutely
You'll wake up begging for
obliterate
cheese.
you, dude.
You'll wake up begging for cheese, and my dad
You'll
will bash
wish
your
you got
head.
stuck in a glue trap after what I do to you with a hockey stick.
So you have a right to an attorney, Dan. You have a right to an attorney. And if you cannot afford one will be provided for you. And Diddy can afford a shitload of them who have gotten some other big people off.
Not in the way Diddy tries to get off.
And they
allegedly.
They need to do their job. So they need to defend this stuff. And I've already seen, because you said Cassie might be the first witness, right?
Yeah.
And it was saying, this article's so big, I should have pasted some of this that I really wanted, but there's parts where it's like the defense is expected to lean heavily on painting Cassie as violent, trying to frame their relationship as mutually combative rather than coercive. So it looks when they show a jury a video of this man wailing on his helpless girlfriend.
He went like this.
They go,
should have seen the other guy.
Yeah, off camera.
It didn't start filming until after I got my ass beat. Dude. You didn't see what she did to me.
Dude, okay, so according to further conversations here, the Combs' defense strategy centers on portraying his actions as part of a consensual swinger lifestyle rather than criminal conduct. His legal team argues that sexual encounters, including the so-called freak-offs, were consensual events involving adults who willingly participated in these gatherings. And again, you have a right to an attorney. Attorney has to do their job. But the idea that a team of like 10 people are going to, with degrees coming out their dick holes, are going to stand up there and go like this, hear me out.
Everyone just chill, man.
Dude, the whole house.
It was mutual, bruh.
They wanted drugs in the baby oil that were seeping into their skin to black them out. They
Allegedly.
That's what they wanted. And I don't know what else the argument is other than going insanity.
Here's what I love. Everything you just said, right?
Yeah.
His defense. I love when stuff like that. And I believe passionately in innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
But when you look at this and it says, going to decide if Combs, 55, is guilty of 5 criminal counts. 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty. And I'm like, really? All those things are a coincidence.
Bro,
I'm a patsy. I've been set up by the Brits.
Dude, Dude, I'm a patsy. Mr. F. Dude,
I can't wait.
Dude, Diddy needs Andy Cohen.
I can't. He needs blah, blah, blah.
He gets Andy Cohen. He will whisper in your ear during trial. Oh my God. I think that in my mind, this can go no other way than a massive full guilty to all counts of everything. Because what are we talking about here? There's no way this is all made up.
But
I'm rattled.
That's why we
I'm
watch.
rattled.
That's why we watch.
Have you seen the judge?
No.
Dude, the judge walks in and he's like making jokes in the opening statements.
He walks in, he sits down, and he goes, "Bad boys for life."
Bro, he comes in with like headphones on.
No.
Yeah, some people thought he was a student. I'm serious, dude.
No.
Where do you see this?
No.
Let me show.
We got to move on. We've already gone on too
judge.
long on the Diddy files, but
You got to see this judge. It's insane. He's like a kid. He's just like some kid who's like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm the judge. It is all in my hands." It's absolutely insane, Dan.
if this judge looks a day younger than 60, I will riot.
I got to show you this, man. Hold on.
Put it this way, folks, as CP takes forever to find this photo.
I don't know how to find a video of the judge walking into
I will
court that I
say,
saw on Twitter.
as I stated, I am as captivated by this moving forward as I am by these current Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, me too.
Unbelievable.
I'm
Me
going to
too.
put it on record. He's not going to live to see the end of the trial.
Oh! Wags calling a shot on death?
He's going to be
Jesus.
Epsteined.
Well, what about
Damn.
the one of the main witnesses? Have you seen that? The main witness went missing 3 days before the trial. She's been missing now. One of
Come
the key
on.
witness. No, I swear to God, dude. One of the key
Come
witnesses
on.
is missing from the trial. No one can find her. And I'm like, dude,
And Diddy's defense team is like this. Whoop.
sucks.
We had nothing to do with it.
Dude,
Unbelievable.
yeah, here she is, Dan.
I hope all
Victim
these
3, key
fuckers-
witness victim 3 in sex trafficking trial goes missing days before trial begins.
Dude,
What?
burn them at the stake.
That's
Okay,
real, dude.
We've got to get into hockey talk. This is fucking crazy. If you find a picture of this judge, show it to me later. Before we get into, you're shitting me. Can you see that?
No.
You are you are
That's how he showed
absolutely
up. That's how he showed up to
shitting
court.
me.
Turn that to
This
me.
dude
That's
is
how he-
wearing black
that's how
Air
he-
Force
that's
Ones,
how he showed up
a
to court.
backpack, and Beats by Dre headphones.
That's how he showed up to court. He's bumping Diddy in this headphones, dude. They go, "What are you listening to?" He goes, "Nothing."
That is ridiculous.
There's a man's voice on there.
Jesus fucking
She's
Christ.
missing, dude. The key witness
We
is
have a key witness missing, and just my pal from down the street is the judge.
Oh my god,
Good
dude.
God. Babes, we are in the midst of playoff action in the NHL right now. We've got the Stanley Cup Finals going on, which means we've got to talk about BetMGM. Sure, you could be betting on the NBA Finals. You could be betting on Champions League. BetMGM has you covered on all that stuff, so sprinkle anything you want. But right now, we're talking about the NHL hat trick jackpot. We love getting in on that anytime goal scorer action. You know that feeling when you pick someone to tuck a goal, they get on the scoreboard, ka-ching, beautiful moments, but if they score again and again and again, maybe even more than 3, and they get that hat trick, that means you are entered in a pot to win $10,000 because that is how the hat trick jackpot works. You've got to get in on this. Listen, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are buzzing. You know that they probably have a hat trick up their sleeve. You know that. We've already seen Mikko Rantanen do it. It's unbelievable. All of these guys are knocking on the door. We feel like one's coming, so get in on that. Make sure you pick an anytime goal scorer and see if they get that hat trick, and then you get put into that jackpot because we need it. And if you sign up right now with code NETTERS, NETTERS, you're also going to get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. You can bet up to $1,500, and if you lose, you get it all back right into your account. Who's taking care of you like that? Let me check. Hello? Yeah. Oh, is it no one? Yeah, it's no one. It's only BetMGM because BetMGM is the best. All right,
let's
get
go.
into
Let's
some
go.
hockey
Let's
talk.
go.
Before we get into the 2 series we'll be covering, Caps, Canes, Vegas, Oilers. We got a new GM in LA.
Yes.
In the city we live in, new GM, Ken Holland. Ken Holland has been hired as the new Kings GM. For those who are unaware, Ken Holland, 69-year-old former player, goaltender, GM for a long time of the Detroit Red Wings. I believe something like, I looked this up, but I believe it was like almost 20, or excuse me, not 20. It was like 14 years, but I believe hired in 1997 or something like that. He won
4 cups?
4 Stanley Cups with the Detroit Red Wings.
He was hired in
1 as an assistant GM, 3 as the GM. He was then hired as the GM and president of hockey ops for the Edmonton Oilers, and he was with them up until last year when they lost the Stanley Cup in Game 7. He and the Oilers then agreed to mutually part ways, and now, after just 1 season off from his duties, he has been hired by the Los Angeles Kings. Fun little fact, was the GM, GM of the Red Wings when they signed Luc Robitaille, and Luc Robitaille won a Stanley Cup only as a player, but has a good relationship with Luc Robitaille. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
Quick thoughts on this. I hate the Old Boys Club. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's really all I have to say.
Well, I would say this. The names that were getting kicked around were also that.
Yep.
So, it's not like they were interviewing a ton of young guys and innovative guys, so it was always going to be that. Mike Fuda was the one I was really excited about just because I thought that would be cool. And he had that tweet like a week ago that somebody was like, you're very comfortable in your life where you are, but we'd love you back here. And he replied to the tweet and said I would come back in a heartbeat. And I was like, that would be sick.
Yeah, cool.
So whatever, it was always going to be that. I think the one hiccup on if it was going to be Ken was the reports where he was looking for something where he'd be hold the title of president of hockey operations too. He didn't want to be just the GM, and here he is certainly going to be that because Luke is here. But I'm thinking the relationship with Luke is the reason he knocked that requirement off his checklist. Mm-hmm. So that's a win. But for me, Dan, the win is simple. If you can't beat them, join them. This is a no-brainer hire for me where you go, hey, dude, the team that you have been the GM of, where you finished second in the Pacific ahead of us every year that you've been there, which they didn't this year, but he was gone.
Yeah.
You finished second in the Pacific ahead of us every year and then whacked us out of the playoffs every year. You've been to 2 Western Conference Finals. The roster that you built is more effective than the roster that we built, and you know exactly how to maybe attack that roster too. So come on down.
Yeah, I wonder if he has a vendetta against the Oilers. Do you?
Yeah, I don't wonder. I know.
Think so?
Oh, yeah. Hates him.
Whenever someone mutually agrees to part ways, I'm like, so you got fired.
Yeah, show me 2 people. Dude, show me 2 people that mutually agree to part ways, and I will show you 2 people that hate each other.
I will show you a scorned lover, for sure. I think that that's probably the case. So maybe that's nice. Again, I am an ageist for sure, like Wags.
Yeah.
That's what people do. They die, according to Wags.
And me.
I can't believe people are getting hired at 70.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
They've seen the world, though. They've seen the ways of
And
the hockey
they're
world.
set in their ways.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
I don't know, man. I'm not into it. I'm not into the 70-year-old hires.
Well, get into it, because this is what we're looking at. And I like it if its entire purpose on Earth was to beat the Oilers, which it is.
You know where I want my
This isn't even debate about beating the.
You know where I want my 70-year-olds working?
Hold on. Starter at a golf course.
Fantastic.
Yep, great.
In
Home Depot, part-time.
Fantastic. That was my next one. In the home improvement section of a Lowe's or a Home Depot.
Yep.
I want that. I want greeter at a Costco.
Yeah.
I want the starter at a golf course. And I want, as the owner of a restaurant who started it from the ground up, and they've been in business for 45 years, and it's incredibly successful, and he can't leave because this is his family now.
Yeah. That's great.
That is where I want my 70-year-olds working. Mm-hmm. I don't want my 70-year-olds in office. Any office.
Yeah, agreed.
I certainly don't want them as president, and I certainly don't want them as
president of hockey ops.
Yeah, and I mean that's not a shot at anyone. If you're 70, you're too old for me. Mm-hmm. Don't be presidents of stuff like hockey operations. Yeah. Stop it.
I love it. I support this.
I just don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need olds as GMs, because I don't believe that you can properly assess what's going on.
It's about beating the Oilers. That's all that matters.
I think that's exactly right. I think it's truly I need to dead this team. Okay, let's get into the Caps Canes. We had game 4. Caps Canes in Raleigh. Crazy crowd, crazy barn. Canes up 2-1. Go into this game, and what did we say? We talked about it on the live this morning. You picked the Canes correctly. Credit to you.
I picked in this game?
This game. You called it this morning. You said you thought the Canes were going to win.
I said they scared me more, but I was like, I want to too.
Yeah, but you were like, I think the Canes are going to win. You did say that.
Did I? Christ.
Yeah, you totally did.
Got him dialed.
So we get this game. We said Washington needs to come out. They need to be way different than how they played in, frankly, all 3 of these games. And they came out flat.
Well, they came out great for 6 minutes.
I'm going to call that flat. The majority of the first period, you were not good.
Yeah, agree. But they came out like fucking bat out of hell, actually. It was crazy. Sure. Even Rod's interview, he was like, Jesus, that was insane. We had to weather that. And then there was one bad shift. He was like, literally one shift switched the whole game.
Sure. At the same time, though, that 7-minute flurry looked like nap time at a fucking preschool compared to literally any minute in the Vegas Oilers game.
Yeah.
So Rod saying like, oh, we had to weather that storm. I'm like, dude, that was a fucking flurry.
Yeah.
It's barely anything. Calm down. And I think Caps players and fans would admit this. Here we are again. You have 21 shots on net. Just a very, very flaccid performance from the Washington Capitals, and I'm shocked. I'm here to say I'm shocked. And also, Canes fans, before you start freaking out and going, why is it always the Caps played poorly and the Canes didn't play great? It's not what I'm saying at all. The Canes played fantastic in this game, but I think the Caps also played poorly. I think both can be true.
Yeah, no, a little of both, and we've been seeing a lot of that in this series.
Yeah.
Got a couple questions about watching this. And I wrote one of them before the power play goal. And I would say one of the positives, if you're trying to silver lining this as a Caps fan, is you got a power play goal and Ovi got a power play goal, and you haven't been able to break through either of those barriers. So maybe that unlocks something moving forward. Maybe you can cling to that. But I wanted to ask you, what is going on with Ovi? There's been so much chatter about his minutes, and I pulled it up. It's not as crazy as you'd think, because this regular season, he averaged 17.43 per game, which is almost, last year was 19.13, and he's pretty much been over 20 every year of his career. So he had much less time per game this year. And then in playoffs, he's down to 16.11 from 17.43, so a minute and a half down from regular season. But it's, he's not out there when they're up late. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a rat's, dude? Basically, I don't think that's the issue. For me, what worries me is there's a nervousness to him almost. I've seen a couple plays where he's like taking crazy shots that miss the net so badly, and then he's so frustrated looking up at the sky. The on ice guys today were being like, Ovi is so vocal on the bench, muttering to himself, asking for the iPad to see plays again. And I'm like, what's going on, dude? Like, you're fine. You've been here before. You're a veteran. You're a seasoned vet in this league. Scored more goals than anyone to ever fucking live. Take a breath with me, dude. Take a deep breath with me. I think that's all he needs.
I think, personally, we always say playoffs are different. NHL playoffs are different. They're certainly more different than any of the major sports compared to regular season. Ovi deserves every shred of praise that he's got all season long and that he has received his entire career. Do you remember a time, we are Celtics fans, pour one out for the absolute dog shit, pathetic, idiot, moron Celtics?
So
we're not going to talk about that. So embarrassing. Absolutely humiliating. You're pathetic. But there was a time when the Celtics big three of KG, Pierce, and Ray Allen were falling apart. Ray Allen had already Judased himself.
Yeah.
But Kevin Garnett was seen on the court getting beat down low and looking down at his own legs and punching himself in the legs as he ran up court. And a bunch of people were like, oh, it looks like Kevin Garnett might have a cramp. And what we knew to be true in the moment, and what he later admitted on a podcast, that was him literally looking at his legs and going, you can't move as fast as my mind.
Yep.
My body is breaking down. Osh said to us once, O is going to do whatever O wants to do. And I do think that's true to an extent. In my opinion, this is a 39-year-old man who broke his leg this season and was completely focused on remaining as dominant as possible so he could break Wayne Gretzky's record, and he did so. And I think he's a little tired.
Yep. He needs a nap.
It's not that.
Yeah,
I think it's I think it's beyond that. I think he's like, dude, the guy's fucking 39.
Yeah, and he's
39. He broke his leg this year.
They're hitting him.
And they're hitting him. He's hitting back. I think he looks visibly frustrated on the ice, and I think he is like, I don't think Father Time has come for Ovi at all. So everyone calm down. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think he's like, fuck me, dude. I am like, this is a grind right now. But to your point, what's wrong with him? I do think he's in his head more than I've ever seen. This is not the guy who's got a fucking Subway footlong and a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos getting on the bus with the biggest smile on his face is not a guy that's muttering to himself and looking at the iPad between plays. Yeah. I've never seen an Ovi that's like worried about that bullshit. But maybe that's a result of, for the first time in his life, really, he's felt like, wait, who's skating behind me, grabbing my jersey, slowing me down?
Yeah.
I've got news for you. It's death. It's Father Time.
Dude, it's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
And he will slash you to death on the ice in front of families watching because he don't care. Is there a chance, Dan, because all we've been saying is the Caps, we need the Ovi scoring. We need some of these top-end guys to go. And because of that, and because of the way they won Game 2, there's been a lot of Tom Wilson love. Is there a chance the Caps ask too much of Tom Wilson?
Definitely, and this actually leads into a question I had for you. I think they might ask too much of Tom Wilson, but I think the bigger question is, and I'm going to flip a question that's been asked of the Carolina Hurricanes over and over. Do the Caps not have a superstar? Because I'll tell you what, dude, people forget this. I believe it was the Caps, when it was all said and done, only team in the NHL to not have a single representative at Four Nations.
Yeah, I think that's right. They may not have been the only one, but they were one of 2 or 3 teams.
But
at
but
most.
I think it was like when it was all said and done, because I think there was
People got pulled
a
up.
couple others, and people got pulled in.
It's a really interesting one. I would say that Alex Ovechkin certainly still feels like one from a stature wise.
Yes, and I think a ton of people would be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Look how many goals he scored this year."
That's what I was gonna say next. Like he's way up there in
Yep.
like literally top something in the league this year in goals, which the Canes, for example, don't have, and that was a factor. But it's a really good question, especially because this Caps team, which I know the stats been thrown around a lot. Yeah, Ovi was 3rd in the league in goals, one behind.
He had 44 goals and he had 73 points in 65 games.
Yeah, like that. I think you would have to be like he's a
superstar.
Yeah, but
I think my point is he's not what he's certainly not what he used to be, but he's just, let's be honest, guys. It's okay to admit, like, yeah, he's not, he's really not that anymore. He's not as explosive. He's not as quick.
And some of these guys who had great years and aren't even playing bad, Michael, Protas, they're playing well, but it's just kind of your first dabble in this where you're like, here you go. And the Caps have had a weird run since that cup. The stats been rammed down your throat, but they haven't got out of the first fucking round.
Oh, yeah.
Since then.
Correct.
And now it got pummeled last year. They missed playoffs, got pummeled last year, and now they had a great regular season, so they beat the Canadiens. But now I'm like, oh god. So there's questions being asked about the who's putting you on their back.
And I do think that here's something for you. Here's something to put in your mouth and swish it around. This season, Caps best forward, Alexander Ovechkin, 39 years old. More likely than not, you could make the case for Chychrun, but Caps best defenseman, probably John Carlson.
Yeah.
Motherfucker had 51 points this year. 35 years old. Like, they're kind of Los Angeles Kingsing.
Yeah, there was a funny article on ESPN.
Kopitar and Dewey. Yeah. Like, they're just older. And you get into the first, second round of playoffs after a full season. Another great comp with Dewey breaking his fucking ankle. Like, these guys having massive injuries. You're asking a lot of these older guys. And yeah, I think when you look at a 39-year-old Ovi, 44 goals this year, breaking Gretzky's record or not, and going, fuck, man, we need goals. It's got to be you. That's a little bit like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Let Ovi do what Ovi's going to do. You guys had this season of an awakening of Willie, of McMichael, of Protas, of PL, and everyone's pretty quiet. So yeah, fuck yeah. I think you're like, help the old man out.
Yeah, dude. It's elder abuse. Tom Wilson, we talked about this on the live show today, 33-32 this year, which is the best year of his career, and he's having an awesome season, but he must be so exhausted because...
Willie?
Yes, because he has to go, and the people are going to tiny violin me right now, but you got to be doing this. You got to be on. You can't show up to the studio in a bad mood. You got to go, I'm talking about the thing I love, but you got to entertain. And then you got a live show in the morning, and then you got bingo in the afternoon. And that, you got to show up, keep showing up to the point that sometimes I'll get home just exhausted mentally, not even physically.
I'll sewer myself here, tell the listeners a little insight into our life. Sometimes we'll get home and I'll just find myself yelling at you for nothing. For nothing. You've done nothing wrong. Or not yelling, but just like snipping at you. All right, I'm being the larger man here. Shut the fuck up. But I'll be snipping at you, and it's just because we've just been doing this shit all day fucking long.
Yep.
And sometimes I want to go home and just I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk about the next thing. I just want to sit there for 2 fucking seconds. Don't make me make a decision for once.
So I think
definitely how
I think
Willie
that's
must
what
feel.
Tom Wilson deals with, because I think he gets to the rink and they go, "Hey Tom, go fight that guy," and he goes, "Okay," and then they go, "Also score," and he goes, "Okay," and then they go, "Hey,
Hit that guy.
No, and they go make fun of the storm surge. Do something really funny. So he does the crowd of the Canadians, and then he's storm surging it, stall today, and he's a rodeo clown.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally like, you need to do your dance every second
Yeah.
of every day.
And then also kill penalties and score goals.
And then the announcers are like, they would love to get Willie going. And I'm like, Willie just...
He's the only one going.
Willie just tap danced at center ice for 20 minutes to earn
true.
money to pay protesters extension. Give him a fucking break. It's outrageous.
He also
I don't know if he's that, and I mean this lovingly because he's a 65-point guy now officially, but I don't know if he's that good. Like, they're being like, dude, you're a 100-point guy. And I'm like, no, he isn't, dude.
He's not. That's not his skill set.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the guy that needs to go out and get that clutch goal. And I'm the biggest Tom Wilson guy on. Other than diehard Caps fans, I genuinely am not sure you'll find a bigger Tom Wilson fan than me. I found the storm surge insult when losing 2-0 in a game where you guys are down 2-1 in the series, about to be down 3-1. I was like, whoa, Tom, hold on. Stop. I also find sometimes, CP, this team has a lack of get under your skin guys.
The Caps.
Yes, other than him. And it's very interesting because you look at Florida, we literally did it today. You talk about Sam Bennett, you talk about Brad Marchand, you talk about Tom Wilson. We did that on the live this morning. Sam Bennett and Brad Marchand are on the same team. And they're also on a team with Matthew Tkachuk, with Aaron Ekblad, with Nico Mika, like all guys who will do that. I don't really, obviously everyone in the NHL to an extent mixes it up. But there's no one on this Caps team that I think about and I'm like, oh yeah, and they will also. Like when Tom's stirring shit up, they're right next to him.
Yeah.
There's obviously, like, Dowd will get in there for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think about him as a guy who's going to piss you off.
That's kind of
so
right.
he's also doing that. Add that to his to-do list.
It's crazy.
It's brutal.
His game day checklist, outrageous. Is Seth Jarvis got moved up to first line tonight? Hear me out here, because this is crazy what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
He might be the most underrated player in terms of, because I understand that he's not, no one thinks he's bad, but it's so weird the perception of him, even within the teams he gets on. For example, in Carolina, deep team for sure, but running a lot of third line minutes, gets named to Team Canada, which is an honor because there's fucking 20 guys taken, and that's Canada. And he makes the joke to us when he gets picked. Every team needs a water bottle guy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, ha. But then he gets out there and he got scratched one of the games, one of the round robin games.
Yeah, bullshit.
And I'm like, isn't he our best guy? And he gets up here on first line and is fucking everywhere. And when their power play struggled in these playoffs, he now runs the fucking umbrella point and QB's the power play, and he's killing all their penalties.
He is constantly looked at as a middle six guy. That's, oh man, you got Seth Jarvis in the middle six. That's huge.
What a luxury.
And we have been, since pre-Four Nations, we have been like, well, he's a first line guy. I don't know why everyone keeps making this mistake. Now, I understand it in Carolina because of who Rod is, and that's not a knock on Rod, but
Should it be?
Seth has been very vocal about being like, obviously, I am not Rod Brindamore's prototypical player. I'm always, fucking around, making jokes, lighthearted guy. Rob's pretty by the book. He's a defensive guy. It's why Nate just didn't love playing for him. A guy like Gensel was like, I don't know if this is the future for me. The fact that Jarvie just continues to do it despite Rod's style is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I think, and he said this at Four Nations, he is very much a Marchand, like an early Bruins career Marchand, where Marchand was like, yeah, I'm an undersized guy, and I came out of nowhere for people, but I'm actually going to be a 100-point guy. That is Seth Jarvis to me.
Yeah.
And when we talk about it with him all the time, road to 40, road to 50.
Yep.
Like, that is in the future. Seth Jarvis is a star. And it is funny how every time they put him on the first line, they're like, Jarvis, big game.
Big game from
like,
Jarvie.
Yeah, no shit.
Like, oh, here's an idea. Put our best players up there. It was like Team USA at Four Nations when they were like, well, we're just trying to build a roster. And I was like, or put the good guys out all the time. That would be sick.
So here's a question for you. I know it's early to say this because I might be getting too horny because this series ain't over. And this Caps team is great. They could easily have a bounce back game. But did this game do enough for you to eliminate the doubts of old from the Carolina Hurricanes?
No. But I do think this was a great step and a bad outcome for Washington, where you go, well, they got their split in D.C., but it doesn't matter. Canes can't lose at home, blah, blah, blah. We're going to be fine. We're going to come out different, like you keep saying. We're going to come out different. We're going to look different, better starts. And then they did kind of have decent starts for the first period and then half the first period, but it didn't matter. You didn't score. And then you kind of got popped twice. And now I'm like, how do you win now? How could you possibly feel like you can come back here and win? So I think this is not good. This went badly if you're a DC, if you're connected to DC at all. So the Canes did their job, absolutely, but I'm not sure I'm willing to go much past that yet. Where I'm like, and I'm like, great job. That was what you had to do, or what you wanted to do, and you did it. And they haven't always done that in the past, but I'm not. They didn't change my opinion leaps and bounds.
I think they might have for me. We obviously, we said it leading into the series. We were like, this Canes team. I feel much more confident about this Canes team than I did last year, and we saw that Devil series ended in 5. Habs ended in 5. So this was a coming together of, are both these teams nasty, or did they play a team that wasn't that great? Are they both kind of weak in areas, this and that, whatever. The biggest question was definitely Freddie Iceberg. He's probably the best goalie in the playoffs right now.
Not probably. It's insane.
Must be a certainty at this point.
Yep.
And I think the most noticeable thing about this fucking team for me, they're sons of bitches, man.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps calling it boring. I said it on the live this morning. Get the fuck out of here. They're just annoying. They're annoying to play against, and they're making it look boring. When you have the defense that they have, when you have Gostisbehere, in my opinion, coming alive in Carolina. You have so many of their young guys playing so fucking well. You have the All-Father, Jacob Slavin. I think it sucks ass playing against this team. Not because they're doing some shitty neutral zone trap, not because they play a slow, boring form of hockey. I think they isolate what you do well and they eviscerate it. And I think that may look boring on TV, but they're like, yawn all you fucking want, bitch. We've lost 2 fucking games in these playoffs. Suck my dick.
Yeah.
From the back.
They're relentless, man. And I was watching today, their D is, maybe it's as simple as this. It can't be, but maybe it's as simple as this. Their gap is epic, dude. Their D is skating forward.
Smothering.
All game. And they're activating in the play offensively, but also they're not afraid at all of getting beat, which is a thing in playoffs, especially when you're a slower team. But when playoffs, sometimes you're every one of those loose pucks in the neutral zone. Your knee jerk is just go back, because I don't want to pinch wrong, and then it's by me for a 2-on-1, which ends up creating more space for the opposing offense because you're just backing up and they're taking space, stopping. You're not closing out hard enough. Trailers are getting hit. Okay, all hell's breaking loose. The Canes D just goes forward, going ballistic all the time, and it's part of the reason that the Caps have 5 fucking shots a game.
Absolutely. We do. How many times have we said get more fucking shots?
They're trying.
But you also look at their D pairings. You got Slavin and Burns. You've got Orlov and Chatfield. You've got Ghost and Walker. And it's they have the Makar Taves balance on every single pairing.
See the poise on Walker.
You have an insane, also, first career playoff goal.
Yeah, sick.
Stick taps.
Shout out Dennis, dude. Dennis said that's his guy. Remember, I was like, Jack Drew's gone. Who's your guy?
Love Sean
Walker.
But the balance there is a huge reason, I think, why they feel comfortable stepping up like that. It's fucking nasty, man. Like this, again, the question I just asked you, I think every year people get too horny for the Canes when they beat someone and they're 1 win away from the conference final again. And we've seen what happened in the past with that. But I don't know. There's nothing about these wins that makes me think, as I said earlier, all the other teams just playing like shit.
Yeah.
And they haven't really played anyone yet. I think this Caps team is great. And they looked so frustrated tonight. So frustrated.
Absolutely.
I mean, you had guys throwing fucking tantrums out there.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's fallen. They haven't been able to dictate a game literally once in this series. Teams always talk about trying to play their game. I want them to play the way we want to play. The Caps have played every single game in this series exactly how the Carolina Hurricanes want to play.
Yes. They have not surpassed 30 goals 30 shots. That would be sick. They have not surpassed 30 shots in a single game. They barely even whiffed it.
They barely whiffed 20.
It's fucking crazy.
Taylor Hall had a nice breakaway tuck today, and I felt bad because LT, the second one again that went in this game.
He hated that one.
He hated it. He was fighting it off. He missed it in his glove. It hit the bar.
Hated it.
And then
hated watching it.
Yeah, and then actually was that Jarvis or no?
Yes.
That was Jarvis.
Jarvis had that.
Whichever one that was. I don't know if it was that one or not because I thought Jarvis went behind him or whatever. But anyway, so I was like, oh God, because I didn't want it to slip, and now he's playing bad, and that felt like their weapon. And I thought he really dialed in for a long stretch after that.
Yes, he did.
Keep it at that number.
That's the thing is, they eventually got a lot of goals, but they had fucking 37 shots.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
This is a bad game for LT. He had an .889 save percentage. He is not going, that's one of the worst games I've ever played.
Correct.
But that was a bad game per his standards. And
so
I felt this way multiple times in the series. He must be furious with his team.
Pissed. So I was laughing because Caps finally get on the board. Sick pass. Chychrun, unbelievable year and playoff. Chychrun, backdoor, tuck 2-1. And you're like, oh,
yeah,
maybe. And then Taylor Hall gets that great pass, stretch pass, breakaway, snipe.
Yeah.
Taylor Hall, and I think that was only his second goal in the playoffs, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he's always been a good playoff performer, and he's had a good playoff, even if it's not statistically as much as I maybe thought he would get to. Still young. Taylor Hall might be the most slept on, forgotten part of this Rantanen saga. We cannot. Everybody's talking about the Rantanen saga and what it did to Colorado, and the Stank man being, well, that's the guy they got back from Dallas. Carolina moved on from Rantanen, they get Stank back, and he's contributing, so they got something, and blah blah blah. The Taylor Hall ending up on Carolina in the first place via Chicago with the third team salary dump is hilarious to me because I'm like, oh yeah, they also got Taylor Hall through all that. And he could be a huge difference maker.
Man, we how many times have we said playoff Hall?
Yeah.
Playoff Halsey is definitely a huge thing. And what a perfect team for playoff Halsey. Because when I think about him on the Bruins, and obviously Chicago was a fucking...
Yep.
Actually, that's a good example for what I was about to say. Him on the Bruins was almost like he was asked too much to do too much. It was like, you're a second line guy and you need to be a massive piece of this.
Yep.
He had one great year, and then after that it was kind of like, but every playoffs, really solid. This team, it was kind of like, just chill, dude. You'll be a third line guy.
Yeah.
If you fucking score some goals, you score some goals.
Yeah.
Where I need you to come alive is the playoffs. And he goes, good news for you. I do that every fucking year.
Yeah.
What a significant boost.
Crazy pickup.
Huge.
Like that will go when this Rantanen saga. Part of me just wants to see Dallas Kane so badly now to just sort this out so we can have all the I'm a data guy, Dan.
Yeah.
I cannot make bricks without clay. Give me the data. And I just want that matchup to happen so we can sort this all out. But that, when this is all said and done, that will be a really funny wrinkle in this whole thing.
No doubt about it. Do you have this still going 7? Or do you think that...
No.
Johnny... Okay, so you Caps are dead, according to you.
I think if you made me repick right now, I would say Canes in 6 if you made me repick right now.
Yeah.
I think the Caps can win at home. I think they will win. In fact, I'll be picking them in Game 5.
Yeah.
I just think Carolina, if Freddie still
I don't think you lose 3 straight games.
Looks good. I mean, if it goes 7, you're shitting if you're the Canes. But if Freddie's still playing great and you're still getting Team D, I wanted to say that too because I'm so on board with this iceberg train. But it's really a credit to the whole team structure because Freddie's playing great and he's made a few awesome saves. But for the most part, he's not seeing much. They can't get anything going.
Yeah.
So if that's still happening, they will not lose 3 straight games. If the Caps are still getting 20 shots a night and Freddie's seeing it.
That's what I was about to say. This team will not lose 3 straight games. So I do not want this to happen. I want this to go 7. I think I said a number of times I thought this series was going to be sneaky, so nasty. And it has been in ways. I know people are saying it's boring, but I think I am declaring the Capitals dead.
Yeah.
Crushing.
Dude, I don't know.
All right, quick pause, quick timeout from the game. Let's talk about Huel for a second. You guys know that I am a health freak. You know that I take my nutrition, workouts, and all that craziness very, very seriously because, listen, I want to live. I want to live forever. The scientists say that the first human being to be born who's going to live to 150 has already been born. I believe that person is me. And I think that things like Huel are going to help me do that. Listen, I'm not saying this is a magic powder. Calm down. But when you are on the go, like us, when you are constantly buzzing around, you're working multiple jobs, you're traveling from city to city, and you really want a delicious product that's going to get you enough protein, enough vitamins and minerals, and take care of you while also tasting good, that is when you need products like Huel. Huel is hooking you up in ways that you could never believe. They have these unbelievable meal replacements. They have all of these beverages, so many different products that are going to get you everything that your body needs. Let's read some of these specs, guys. Let's talk about this. Huel is giving you 1 bottle with 35 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, high fiber, and low sugar. That's going to fill you up, make you feel energized all day long. And like I said, it tastes good. These are making sure you hit all those macros, take care of everything that's important to you, while also satisfying you with every single product that they have. That is a massive, massive win. If you go to Huel.com/netters right now, use that promo code, you're going to save 15% on your order and you're going to get a free gift. This stuff is truly delicious, guys. I love using this stuff because, like I said, we're constantly buzzing around. We're at the office all the time. Sometimes we don't have time to go get a lunch. Sometimes we don't have time to cook and bring it in. And what I want to know is that I'm using a product that's going to get me all of the things I need. I'm protein counting all the time. So many of these products, yeah, sure. Maybe I can eat a bar. Maybe I can drink one of these ready-to-drink protein shakes. And they might get me 20, 25 grams of protein, but they're also packed with sugars. They have 230 plus calories of stuff that I don't need, and they're not getting me any of those vitamins. They've got these great vitamins. They've got vitamin B to keep you healthy, keep that immune system strong as an ox. You know that that's what we need. Give Huel a shot because, like I said, they're making sure you check every box while also tasting good, giving you a good time, making you feel good while you do it. So again, Huel.com/netters. You're going to save that 15%, get that free gift, and you're also going to be fueled up with Huel.
You know what I'm sick of? Feeling wrong for wanting contradictory things because life is about contradiction, and that is why I have an incredible product I want to tell you all about right now, and that is Light Strike. Okay? Listen, it's an alcoholic beverage, but it's not like an alcoholic beverage you have seen before. Okay? This is not the bad booze. This is the good booze. Dan and I are on an active lifestyle all the time. We're on the road, chasing the cup, playing hockey half the time. We're all over the place, all right? And I want to be able to have a few pops with some friends, but then also be able to be putting something in my body that I'm not that mad about. And that's where Light Strike comes in. It's a perfect combination of coconut water, sea salt, and 5% ABV. That's like McDavid, McKinnon, and Kucherov all on one line, stuffed into one bottle. And that bottle is the exact type of thing I want to bring to my beer league games and pop it in the cooler for when we're done. Can you imagine playing at 3 running time, 20-minute running time, but a nice hour-long game where I'm working hard on a Wednesday night and I get back into the locker room, take a shower that's way too cold and I'm miserable, but then I come back into the cooler and sitting in there on ice is a bunch of bottles of Light Strike for us and the boys to get after. That is exactly what I'm talking about and where this beverage comes in in a way like you've never seen. They've got 2 flavors right now, lemon lime and orange mango. I love the orange mango, okay? It's amazing. We're flying around this hockey community, playing games, staying up late, watching games. We're having fun, and we want to have fun, but we want to feel good about how we're treating our body, and that is where Light Strike comes in. I want you to give it a try right now because this puppy is a game changer.
Moving on to the next series of the night, and I need to do something real quick. Just needed to quickly, for those listening, I'm closing my eyes and I'm mentally getting in Edmonton.
Yep.
Because that's where we are going straight to.
Yep. And dude,
The Edmonton Oilers.
I said this probably after game 2. We said this after game 2. Get
going
your passports ready.
Straight to the Stanley Cup final. Straight to it.
I'll, even though eventually I don't have to apologize anymore, but I'll apologize for the third. This is the third instance of me apologizing. Because I said Vegas in 5, and the Oilers are shit kicking them. And I do want to say this. Laz asked on the show, the live we did this morning, that video's up. If you hadn't seen it, it's about all the weekend games. Go watch it right now. It's a pod. That pod from the live this morning, Laz said most inconsistent team. You correctly said Winnipeg because the Hellebuck on the road is the definition of Jekyll and Hyde. But I said honorable mention this Vegas team because they will just suck. Inexplicably suck. And here comes the same thing you just bitched about last year, where they're like, why can't you ever say our team plays good? Why is it always the other team sucked? And I'm like, because that was a horrible hockey game from Vegas when they have the ability to not do that.
If you are an Oilers fan trying to act like this was a great hockey game that you played so well in, and you played well, but this was horrible from Vegas. They were ass cheeks in this game.
I actually meant to start the segment like this, so I'm going to pretend this is the beginning. Stuart Skinner legacy game. I am legitimately pumped for him because the
mental
sick
fortitude
thoughts that must have been going through his head all playoffs leading up to this game.
This a bad loss in this game. That could have been the type of thing that sends a man on a spiral that he never returns from. And then he pitches a shutout.
Incredible. I wonder if he's had a playoff shutout. I'm going to look that up right now. He must have.
I can't believe, as you look that up, I cannot fathom. I know you're in Rogers Place. I know it's hard to play up there, but you just got a massive win. People talk about momentum game to game not really being a thing. Jack Eichel actually said that. He was like, I don't believe momentum goes from game to game. Dude.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know what I thought about that quote.
I think he's so right, dude. It's so fucking stupid. I think there's a difference if you are down 0-3 and then you storm back and force a game 7 like Edmonton did last year, then I think there is a little bit of like, oh my God.
Yep.
But just like game to game, dude, give me a break. One bounce, one hot shift, and it changes everything. You get the first goal, everything's fucking different.
Yep.
You know that that's true. But going into this game, and if you're Vegas with Skinner in net, I feel like you've got to be like, dude, go in there and fucking firing range this guy.
Yep.
Get in his head early.
We're going to score 5 goals.
You
minimum.
come out and get dog walked in this period.
Yep.
Absolutely tallywhacked by the Oilers. 15 shots to 5. Just a complete and utter shit kicking. And Vegas, you didn't look like you were in it for a fucking second. Truly a fucking second. It was 2-0. And I went, pack your fucking bags, folks. Get a good night's rest. Turn off the game. Bye-bye. This is over. See you in Vegas on fucking Wednesday because this game is finito. Finito. And I was 100% right. A bunch of people tried to be like, oh, a nice reverse jinx. I'm like, I picked the Oilers in this series, dude.
Yeah.
And also, you think I have the power to jinx anything? I'm just sitting here watching a game, and I went, this was over before it fucking started.
Which it was. Stuart Skinner had a shutout last year in the playoffs. Great job. This is also just so funny. 2 years ago, Skinner 883-368. Last year 901-245. This year 817-536 coming into tonight. And it says this is on Hockey Reference, there's a stat. You know they have like 1 million bars of stuff. There's a stat that says RBS, and I was like, what is that? And I put my mouse over it, and it says really bad starts. So last year in 23 games, Stuart Skinner 6 RBS.
Makes sense.
Year, this doesn't have tonight's game in yet.
Yeah.
This year, 3 starts, 3 RBS. Yeah. And I was like, oh, dude,
Tough. Hate to see it.
But legacy game, shutout, unbelievable stuff from the kid. I'm really fired up for him. Vegas, Dan, is...
Well, can we talk real quick about just a couple more things about Edmonton?
Yeah.
2 goals from Adam Henrique, 1 goal from Evander Kane. Only 1 assist from Connor McDavid in this game.
We
Keep on going. Keep on fucking trucking this team. And I also want to say Evander Kane. So many people were like, I wonder, when he comes back, I wonder what his situation is going to be. I think last year someone pulled out a stat. He had 4 goals, 3 or 4 goals. I think it was 4 last year in 20 games or so in the playoffs. He has 4 goals in these playoffs already. And also, just a quick shout out to him after the game in his post game on TNT. Someone asked like what was different about this game, and he goes, "Well, I rolled up in a Ferrari for Game 3, and that didn't work. So I wanted to go back to the rolls." That is a nails quote from a guy who's declared bankruptcy in his life. Like this guy is the epitome of a pro athlete who goes, "I don't give a fuck about anything. I'm just going to live a rock star lifestyle."
Yeah. That's awesome. That's so awesome. The Aiden Hill situation is, I'm in a pretzel about it. We have so many people in the live being like, Hill's not even good. It's insane. But he does have good numbers, and they have been, and he won a cup, and they've been a very good regular season team with him in the net. So I just don't know, because the Kane goal, the 3rd goal tonight, is another very bad goal.
Yeah,
that
no
goal
doubt about it.
cannot go in.
Absolutely
that is a
not.
literal wrist shot that is from far away. That can't go in. But he stopped like 3 breakaways in this game when it was still close. So goalie's such a tough position because
It's a good call by you. Those were big time stops.
you only remember the shit ones, and then you go, we lost because of that one shit one. And I'm like, well, maybe you should have lost 6-0 if he hadn't been on his game early. So that's tough. Here's where here's where I've lost faith. Vegas, early in the game, they had already scored, but that Henrique one was just a fucking dog shit turnover behind the net, and actually a 6 shot from Henrique. Nothing Hill can do about that one at all. So it's kind of like, whatever, just bounce back, bad play, we'll get it back. Right after that, he shoved someone to the ground after a whistle, Hill did, and I was like, oh, a little Tim Thomas action here. And I liked it. And then he got so chippy. He tripped, I think it was Janmark. He kind of tripped Janmark, and then Janmark like re-tripped him back, and Hill fell, and like that big fight.
He got a penalty for it.
Yeah, but and Panger says it on the broadcast. Hill's the one who
instigated contact
him.
for sure.
And then later on the second Henrique goal, Kane gets like knocked up onto him. The puck's in the back of the net, and Hill jumps up and is like throwing blockers into Kane's face. And I was kind of like, dude,
calm down.
And stop the puck. Like I don't need you to fight all the Oilers team. And maybe Tim Thomas's shenanigans only worked because he was pitching Vezina level, Conn Smythe level shutouts too.
Yep.
Maybe that is the disconnect here.
Yep.
But I'm like, hey, dude, stop. Like fucking, we can't be losing again. I'm sorry, but we cannot be losing to Jean-Luc Picard and Stuart Skinner in the goalie battle. And we are decidedly losing it.
I know that there's going to be so much dick riding, and I don't mean that in a bad way, from Oilers fans about how good the depth has been, how good certain guys have been. This team is way better than people think. It's this and that. And I can't figure it out. I've been saying it. They do something. I don't know what it is, and I don't know who it is, because here's another game where Leon and Connor are obviously, even if they're not on the score sheet, they're always doing something.
They're everywhere.
They've got you on your heels. They've got you freaked out anytime they're on the ice. But 1 point between the two of them in a 3-0 win, like that is monster. Monster. And I continue to be utterly perplexed at why, for what now, 7 of 10 games, right?
Yeah.
They have made their opponent literally forget how to play hockey.
It's
literally
so impressive.
Forget how to play hockey. And tonight was embarrassing for the Knights. I'm telling you, this was an embarrassing performance
in a game that you needed. It's a 5-on-5 a lot too, Dan. I would say that last year the Oilers' power play was so fucking good, and then don't forget their PK went nuclear last year. That's how they beat Dallas.
Yep.
They didn't give a power play goal for like 20 rounds.
Yep.
So they didn't even have to win the 5-on-5 because their special teams was such a sledgehammer advantage in both directions. This year, their power play has done dick.
Yeah.
Their PK, I'd have to look it up, has been good, but I can't recall it breaking records. They are just beating you 5-on-5, period. And if I keep saying this, it's actually really funny because we both do it. I'm like, you're not even getting that much from Connor and Leon. And then you look at playoff points and they're like second and third. So I'm like, well, you're getting something from him, but you're not getting these virtuoso dominant games. They're getting moments.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, boom, you needed that overtime goal. They're your boys. Yeah. And that's what makes them so scary.
But it is just like they are primary and secondary assists all over the place.
Yes.
And they're just so fucking good.
Here's a thought that I wanted to ask you. Why we saw a couple years ago the Flames, I think this was Matthew Tkachuk's last year there, when they played. The Flames show up, and they were the higher seed, and everyone thinks the Oilers are better. And then the Flames they win the first game like 8-6. And they're like, we're just going to track meet the Oilers. And I'm like, you're going to track meet the Oilers? And then they lose. And so I always go, well, you can't, why are you trying to do that? Like, you gotta clog it up, bog down the Oilers. But in a way, I would argue that's what Hiller's strategy was, where he's like, hey, we are not getting in a track meet here. Sit back, clog up the neutral zone. And we saw how that worked. So I don't even know what the answer is, because in a game like that first period, dude, tonight was one of the most fun run and gun periods I've seen in a long time. And I know the Vegas shots on goal were only 5, which is still bad.
It was very up and down. They were missing the net.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's part of what we talk about. I'm like, you're in the NHL, pal. Hit the fucking net.
Agree.
I mean,
but even watching it, I'm going live. I'm going like this. Is this the game you want to play against Edmonton? You got to be kidding me. But I just don't know that there is a strategy that works. And maybe that's a testament to how they've built their team or how they step up in the playoffs. But it's funny because people, every time they run and gun, people say sit back. Every time the Kings sit back, people say you got to take it to them. You got to stay on the gas. I'm not sure there is a way to attack this Oilers team that they can't adjust to.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think a lot of Oilers fans who are honest with themselves will be honest like we are, and they'll be like, we did not see this coming. I mean, dude, the white flag that was being waved after games 1 and 2 against LA was covering the entirety of Alberta. They were like, yeah, dude, we're not that good this year. This is not our year, whatever. Even after game 3, people were like, wow, Hiller's an idiot, and we got away with one there, but I still think that this one is over. Eddie Lack said it today on the live. Laz said it. It was like, I mean, the Kings are going to win. There are a lot of Oilers fans, smart Oilers fans, who would be like, dude, we did not see this coming. Now, I am sure, if not know, that locker room is like, wrong. We are going back to the Cup. Certainly Connor and Leon are doing that. That said, this is not just surprising to us. It's surprising to everybody, because it is bizarre how they can have a game like, I mean, frankly, multiple games in this series alone, but then like a lot of those LA games where I'm just like, yeah, this team can and should lose. And then they just figure it out, dude. They sea-snake it. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this game to me, Stuart Skinner coming out, getting a shutout, the Knights coming out just like wet dog shit.
They had a little bit more in the third, but it was so too little too late.
So too little too late. You're down 3-0. Yeah. I'm like, this is over in 5.
Yeah. Dude, okay. So
I think you have. You know what I think you've done? I think you've shown your belly to Edmonton.
Yeah, and your throat, and they're gonna pat your belly and then cut your throat. Leave a dead dog in the middle of the street.
I think this series is long over.
Yeah, Vegas. Watching tonight, no joke. Watching tonight, I was like, Vegas stinks, dude. Like they stink.
I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. I got 6 separate texts from people in our world who went, Vegas sucks.
Yeah.
And obviously it's reactionary, but I was having a hard time being like, no, they don't. They're this and that. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. We saw a bunch of people on Twitter going, the Kings would have beat the shit out of Vegas.
And now I'm like, we talked about this with a couple of people. Vegas should have lost to Minnesota. It was after the first 3 games when they looked like shit in that series too. But then Jack and Mark started to wake up, and it looked like Hill was playing a little bit better. And I was like, oh yeah, they were just kind of easing into the playoffs. But it now looks like the games 4, 5, and 6 against Minnesota are the best and only games they've played well in the playoffs. Otherwise, they've been kind of brutal.
Yeah.
Why does this Oilers team not do better in the regular season?
Well, I said at the beginning of the year, I don't think they give a fuck.
Maybe this season.
I forgot that. I did. Well,
Yeah.
dude, what are you talking about? They had that bad 2 years ago. They started bad, and then they were easily the best team in the league.
Yeah, after that. But
Yeah.
but like, why did that happen? Why did they start 2-12?
Coaching.
Yeah, they fired their
100%.
coach.
100%. This year, I think they didn't give a fuck. And I can't believe I forgot that. I was the one who declared that, and then I forgot it and picked the Kings like a fucking moron. But I'm telling you, I don't think they give a fuck. But at the same time, the thing that is confusing to me is so many of these players, if you look at their stats, and I know stats aren't everything, you look at their stats from the regular season, it's very mediocre.
Everyone had a worse year. Everyone on the team
Very
had a worse
mediocre
year.
squad. And now they've just come in and fuck me. We keep talking about their depth isn't as good as some of these other teams, blah, 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 blah. Their depth is doing
The depth
everything.
is outperforming anyone else's depth in the league.
And there are people I want to give the flowers. I think Kulak has been incredible.
Yep.
Incredible in these playoffs. He's locking down so hard. He's got 2 assists, but he doesn't need to do that.
Yep.
He needs to stop the other fucking team. And look at this. You've got Jack Eichel getting blanked in a pivotal game 4.
The entire D core, bro.
They've been amazing.
That has been such.
They've been amazing. Corey Perry's been amazing.
Yep.
Evander Kane, like we mentioned, has been phenomenal. I don't think they gave a fuck. I think that they, like I said, mentally I'm in Edmonton. I'm getting Cactus Club, save me a fucking seat. I'm going to be there every night because there's nowhere else to fucking go. Save me a seat. I'll be there every night.
The guys on the back end have stepped up in ways that I was so not expecting.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, I thought this was such an awesome comp the more I thought about it. Because somebody was like, I'm rooting for the Oilers, and they're not an Oilers fan. And I was like, why? And they were like, well, I just feel like it's the team of destiny for what happened last year. And then this person isn't a massive hockey fan who I was talking to, so I was kind of like, actually, dude, it's pretty hard to go back to the Cup and win. What you saw Florida do is not the norm, really. And the guy was like, dude, they just remind me of the 04 Red Sox. And the more I thought about it, I was like, man, I love that comp so much because you have and if you're not a baseball fan, sorry, but you have the Manny and Ortiz who are 2 generational guys, like some of the best hitters to ever play on your team that can change anything at any moment. One swing away. Dude. You've got 2 guys. But then you've got a cast of like renegade cowboy depth guys that everybody's like, your depth sucks. It's Kevin Millar and like, whoever. And I'm like, no, but that's just who we need.
It's exactly.
And they'll come up in moments. This could be just what they needed, dude. But you know what I'm saying, dude? Mark Bellhorn, Bill Miller, like what are we talking about? Who are these guys? But they're their guys. And that locker room is so like, we can do anything. No. And the 03 Sox lost in devastating Game 7 fashion in the ALCS to the Yankees, and then came back and did it the next year. And this Oilers team losing in Game 7 of the Cup Finals, which also kind of has the 03 Sox flair to it, too. I know the Sox did come back and the Oilers didn't. But I was like, wait, dude, you're right. Like, this Oilers team is the 04 Sox, and they are complete destiny breaking the Canada curse.
For sure. And we Dallas fans, Winnipeg fans, we're not counting you out. We're talking about this series. And I know we keep saying mentally I'm in Edmonton for the final. But I'm saying right now I am counting out Vegas. And this team is just, they're doing everything right.
Yep.
Everything, like I said about the Canes, they're doing everything right to make me be like, what could possibly stop them? And it's, let's say Dallas or Winnipeg wins the next series. We're going to be fucking sitting here in 2 weeks going, geez, I don't know. This is so crazy. I can't figure out why Winnipeg/Dallas can't figure out how to break this fucking team down. Shut the fuck up, idiot, and buy your fucking plane ticket to Edmonton.
Yeah, the Oilers are nasty, and they're going to win.
You know why? You know why you can't figure it out? Because you're an idiot, and you keep being like, well, why are people having such a hard time playing against literal 2 aliens put on this planet to be good at hockey?
God, it's insane. I don't think Stuart Skinner gives up the net, by the way.
No, it's his for the rest of the way.
Yep.
100%.
And I think it would actually have to take a bad run for them to permanently pull him again. I'm not saying from a game.
The second Jean-Luc Picard is healthy,
Yep.
100% healthy, it will take a in-game yanking of Skinner to
Yes.
be like, and we're going to go to Pickard for the next game.
Yep. This is Skinner's net. And this happened. This exact thing. We said it on the live this morning. He needed a reset.
Yes.
He needed a reset. Now he's back.
He needs to get shut down.
God, that kind of is his thing. Maybe this is just what he needs.
100%.
That's very cool.
Moving on from the series, we've been talking about Connor and Leon being good. You had a quick idea, just doing a quick little mini powers ranking 3 players so far in the playoffs that are your eyes are on, 3 best players in the playoffs. Right?
Yeah, and we got to agree, just like always. So I'm not sure Connor and Leon are in the convo, but I'm not sure because of their standards.
I have a lock 1.
I have a lock 1 for sure. Mikko Rantanen.
I disagree.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think my lock 1 is Freddie Anderson.
Oh, okay, yeah. If we're counting goalies, then yes.
In what world are we not counting goalies?
Because
I think it's Freddie Anderson, and for me, it's because of all the questions. It's because so much weight was put on the success of this Carolina Hurricanes team relies on how well he plays, and he's been the best goalie in the playoffs.
fresh as lettuce. Played 22 games this year.
Freddie Iceberg.
Didn't need it.
I think he's my lock 1.
I'll agree with that. I'll go Freddie Iceberg 1, Mikko Rantanen 2.
Yeah.
And then 3 becomes an interesting one for me because I love a Willie Nylander, to be honest with you. I think he's been really, really good.
I might have a hard time not going Willie. And that's you know what? When we did our blind ranking of locker room beers, we eliminated Molson and Labatt because we were like, they're going to be.
Yeah.
Well, we
Be
eliminated
unfair.
Labatt because it would be 1. Drink some Labatt Blue. Molson, another great beer.
Yep.
Coors Banquet.
Great
Wanted
beer.
didn't get named because this fucking guy.
Because Wags was giving us
Wags went
fucking-
out of his mind. Connor and Leon, like you said, being 2 and 3,
standards,
it's just like that is just who they are. But I agree. I actually, per them, I think that they're like,
I want more out
we
of
could
them.
be hotter.
Yeah, I
So
do.
I'm going to not put them in our top
do.
3 out of respect for them because they're
Yep.
like, you're going to put me top 3 and you think that this is my top 3?
Yeah, come on.
I haven't even begun to peak. So out of respect for them, they're not going to go in. So I would hear a Kyle Connor, but I like Willie. And you know why I like Willie? Because Willie dropped his nuts.
Yeah.
Willie went, I am the guy, dude. I am the guy on this team. I have been the whole fucking time, all along. And he's performed so well. He's yapping it up, mixing it up with Matthew Tkachuk. I think I love Willie as the pick.
6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points, dude, playing out of his mind, factor in just about every game, always dangerous when he's on the puck. I really like that for 3rd. I would say honorable mentions to Svechnikov. I thought he's been really good.
Oh, yeah.
Pumping
After
in
a
goals.
little bit of doubters, dude.
Yes, and not the hottest start, I don't think. I think it took him a while. He ended up having a hattie in one of those games. And then Kyle Connor.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kyle Connor's been awesome. Dude, Mikko Rantanen, this is shaping up to be just the most hilarious run if they win the Cup, even if he doesn't go through Carolina. And there was a stretch in Carolina where he wasn't playing that well. But straight up in the league right now, Dan, because remember we posted a stat that was like Connor McDavid is up to 3rd all-time in points per game in the playoffs. GOAT. And it's Wayne, Mario, Connor. And then we were all laughing like, dude, look at Leon. He's 5th. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The 2 of them right there.
You know who's 7th? Just behind Nathan McKinnon.
In points per game all time in the playoffs. All time, by the way, not this year, literally ever. Who is it, Dan?
Mikko Rantanen. And
Where-
people going like this, oh, he'll disappear eventually.
Dude.
He's going to go ghost eventually.
So, and keep in mind, like 15th, Nikita Kucherov, 16th, Sidney Crosby, 8th, Mark Messier, 9th, Bobby Orr.
Let's stick in Colorado, Chris. 20th, Joe Sakic.
Yeah.
He is
13th, Peter Forsberg.
He is 7th all time.
And 23rd, Cale Makar, D, but still 23rd, your Lord and Savior, who you have to pay, Cale Makar.
And keep in mind, Nathan McKinnon is 1.316 and Moose is 1.308.
Where?
They're
Yeah,
the same.
it's like, what the fuck? Where Where do you have Rantanen in the league right now, active?
He's top 10.
But where? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I don't want to do this because I don't like putting numbers on people.
But number him right up.
But if I think about my top 10 players in the league, in no order, I think of names like Connor McDavid. I think of names like Nathan McKinnon. I think of names like Jack Eichel. I think of names like Leon Draisaitl, Cale Makar, Nikita Kucherov. And now we're having a conversation.
So what about like Apasta?
That's a great comp.
Yep. What about
I think he's a great comp.
Matthew Tkachuk?
I think Matthew Tkachuk, all encompassing. We know I boost Matthew Tkachuk though.
What about
Austin comes up for sure.
Austin Matthews, Sid, Panarin?
Yeah. Sid is just top 10 forever, no matter what. God, he's so fucking good.
I think you got to go Sid. And I'm not even saying I'm putting him 7th. I'm saying I think Sid's got to be
in the 10.
Yeah.
Yes, he's still.
No,
10.
I'm saying like above Rantanen. Like the guys you've named so far, I'm like, yes, I have them above. Rantanen.
I do not know that I need to do that.
Wait, you don't need to do that with Sid?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know.
Right now.
I know.
But you are a blind, drunk idiot. You guys just you think he's
dude. You look at the player poll, dude.
You think he's 30
he does
still.
everything.
Yeah, but the player poll is even worse because they're all the people who just idolized him.
Nah, that's crazy.
No, it's fact.
You're insane, dude. You're insane.
That player poll also said Vasilevsky's the best goalie in the league by far still. What happened there?
Yeah, tough. Okay, so you're not even putting Sid in. So now we're saying
yes, I am putting Sid in, but I am not sure. I'm putting him definitely above him.
Okay. So that's where the line is then. We're
Yes.
talking 7th best player in the league.
He's like 7 to 9, probably.
7th best player in the league. And then where does he go? How old is he?
28, I think.
He's 28. Where does Mikko Rantanen go if, assuming he even gets close to maintaining this level of play, close to it, which there's no reason to believe he would slow down in any way, shape, or form soon. If he remains the fucking, even drop him a little bit, if he remains a top 10 point per game playoff performer and he wins even one more, if he retires with 2 cups and the 7th greatest playoff performer of all
he'll
time,
of course be on the all-time list.
He's way up there on the all-time list. That's what I'm trying to say. I think this has been such a misstep in terms of his, in terms of rating his abilities.
It's the classic Evgeny Malkin complex. It's the Leon Draisaitl complex where you are playing with, at various times, the best player in the league.
Yeah.
So people go, well, you're playing with Nate. You're playing with Sid. You're playing with Connor. It's insane.
Yeah.
It will go on forever. It will go on till the end of time. People will always say, oh, well, so-and-so played with so-and-so. And you're like, well,
yeah.
what are you talking about?
And it's easier. It's almost easier when the other one's a D because it's like Nate and Kale.
Definitely.
No one cares because they're like, oh, they power play together, but that's about it. Yeah.
But I mean, all those ones I said were forwards, two forwards.
Yep.
And I don't. Nate and Moose is a funny one because I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. It's a center and a wing. The Sid, Malkin, Leon Connor ones always make me scratch my head because I'm like, they are literally centers. They're all like they are playing on different lines.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
It's only because it's
There's
they
shit.
put the best and they put the best D out against Sid.
Sure.
So you get to be like, sick. I'm going out against not Slavin. And I'm like, yeah, that's the luxury of being.
But I also think that that's stupid because while it's true, it's not like they're literally only on the ice against the best D. Like there are shit happens.
You hit the whole matchup, home line change. Yeah, I guess it's just hilarious to me to think that the argument of maybe moving him was under no circumstances can we lose a Cale Makar, which is true. But I think you mistakenly didn't have Rantanen in that bucket too. Under no circumstances can we lose a Mikko Rantanen.
Man, it's awesome to see him playing so well because the discourse that went on after the whole Carolina debacle was turning people into applesauce brained bozos.
He's literally underpaid in Dallas.
Yeah, probably.
He should have gotten more money.
You got that no state tax
from Dallas, dude.
No
It's actually fucked.
All right, we're buzzing long time here. Let's get into a beer league hotline.
Beer league hotline brought to you by our friends at Labatt Blue Light.
The beer we just said was too good to even include on the list because it would win easily.
Let's go.
Wags, talk to me.
In our D League, one team has an 18-year-old college ringer. Last night, I gave him an extremely harmless one-handed stick check. He continued to skate away with the puck, and I changed. After the game in the handshake line, he didn't shake my hand and tried to hand me his broken stick. I told him to pound sand. He followed me to the bench and tried to give it to me again. Then he came into our locker room while we were having beers and threw his stick down in front of me, called me an asshole, and we got into a yelling match before he stormed out. I took the broken stick home. We have two ideas. Do I tape it back together, sign it, and give it to him the next time we play? Or do we make a trophy out of it, and every time we play them, it's called the Broke Stick Championship? Am I taking it too far, or do you guys have a better idea?
I'm not going to lie. I absolutely loved this kid until the locker room.
Oh, you loved the college kid?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude. That is horrible.
If he's an 18-year-old ringer and he was nasty and you broke his stick and he went up to you and was like, here's my broken stick, dude, and then went up to the bench, and to me, he was beaking him. Like, you're such an old plug bitch. You had to break my stick. I'm a fucking 18-year-old kid. And he was rubbing the broken twig in his face. I actually loved him. But then he shows up to the locker room and throws it on the ground and starts whining. Now I'm like, you're a little bitch.
Because he was being a bitch the whole time, right? It wasn't beaking.
Turns out he was a bitch the whole time.
And I need to know, I have a few things I need to know. Was if he's so sick, because it's summer and he's in between, he's off to school, you get sticks. So are you complaining?
Well, hold on. We do not know that he is so sick. All it says is that he's a college ringer. He could be playing club somewhere. You do not get sticks.
Actually, I guess if he's a ringer in the D League too, he's...
Well, again, he could be
nasty, though.
He could be an asshole playing in the D League because he's like, I don't want to play too high because I don't want to get hurt because of this and that. But we don't know. He could be a club guy. You don't get sticks.
So I guess
cannot assume he gets sticks.
Can't assume he gets sticks. But either way, because, dude, I have had guys break my stick. Oh, the other thing I was going to say I needed to know is the narrator. You never really know about the stick check. Extremely...
buddy, I'll tell you right now.
Stick
Narrator, I guarantee you slashed his stick in half.
Well, we don't know that. You can't assume that. You can't
a harmless one-handed stick check.
You can't assume that.
Yeah. In your bra.
Send me the live barn. But I'm telling you...
The flex that this guy's saying that he one-hand stick checked the kid's twig in half?
Yeah.
Who are you, Thor?
Well, that's what I think he's saying. He's like, I didn't do shit.
But he broke his stick.
No, we don't know that. The kid skated away with the puck. Like, he kept going with the puck.
But then how did his stick break?
That's what we don't know. I think he's saying, I got to the bench and my stick was broken slightly, and now I'm pissed at you. And he's being like, bro, that broke somewhere else.
Unreliable narrator.
Okay, but dude,
he has made himself a fool.
I have had dudes break...
And I'm not calling you out, sir, but we're fact-checking you here. He skated away with the puck with a broken stick. Then you're referring to his stick as broken multiple times. Like,
yeah, so the kid is a liar. The college kid literally...
Or this guy is
a liar. He's a lying scumbag.
No, dude.
Who tried to get a free stick. He went back to the bench and went like this, I'm going to get a free stick off that old
Here's
guy.
The deal. If we're going to believe this guy...
Which I do. Go on.
You ruin every conversation when you do stuff like this.
Why? Because
if we're going to believe this guy... The only thing we know is that this kid's a little bitch.
The college kid is a bitch.
But we also don't know that he didn't break his stick on that slash. Like, this is just bad information from our narrator. So even if you want to believe him, what he has written us is unreliable.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is, Chris, because he says, I one-handed stick checked him, then the kid skated off with the puck, and then it turns out his stick was broken. And at no point does he go, and the stick broke another time. It wasn't even me. In fact, so much of the story, he basically admits, he's like, I did break the stick.
I'm telling you, dude, if we're to believe him, and since we know nothing about the kid that wrote it in, and we know for a fact that the college kid is a bitch.
Well, we don't know.
No, we know he's a bitch because of the way he behaved no matter what happened.
Not true, because we're choosing to believe.
No, even if he went like this and broke his stick in half, and then the kid came into my locker room
we don't know that the kid did
at
that.
Me. Oh, okay, so we don't believe anything.
No, I'm saying
fair enough. I guess the whole story could be a lie.
Well,
there is no college kid.
This is all made up.
There's no one here.
My point is...
He was at a stick time by himself.
My point is, for the purpose of Beer League Hotline... For the purpose of Beer League Hotline, we will believe our people. So I'll believe that this kid's a little bitch.
College kid known bitch.
But you, sir, have fucked up, in my opinion.
Well, we're gonna get a follow up. He's gonna hear this. We're gonna get a follow up.
Because you say a harmless one-handed stick check, but then the stick broke. Impossible. Impossible that you one-hand stick check this kid's stick in half.
Yeah.
So either follow up and tell me, I have no idea how the stick broke. Because if that's the case, then this kid's even more of a bitch.
Yeah,
But if you
I think the kid broke his. I think the kid went onto his bench and then literally broke the stick over his skate because he was like, "I'm gonna go tell that dude he broke my stick and try to get a new one."
Yeah.
That's what I think happened. And also, I don't love the ideas. Look, I don't know what to do yet.
I think signing it and giving it back to him is too mean.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, not even too mean. You are letting an 18-year-old occupy too much of your headspace.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But making it into a trophy is so much effort that it's now funny again for me.
Oh, okay. It came all the way back around.
If you epoxy this stick together in a shape and literally
It's the two pieces like crossed.
fix it to the top of a trophy, and you name it the broke bitch trophy.
He said the whole message said they'd put it out on the ice during warm-ups, so every time they played the kid, they'd be like,
That would be hilarious. Again, you are tormenting a teenager,
Yeah.
but that would be
who tormented us? Who interrupted locker room beer time?
Well, he can't have beer, so
Yeah,
maybe
so
he's
he's
a
just
little buttered.
jealous.
But yeah, I think that's a little savage.
I think you break his stick every time you play
Maybe
him
you
from now
don't
on.
do it. Maybe don't bring it every time you play these guys, but next time for sure.
Yeah.
That I think is pretty funny.
My closing thought is if someone two-handed my stick in half via trying to get the puck or just pure frustration,
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever demand he buys me a new stick.
No.
Literally ever.
No. One time in beer league, I was playing at a high level trying to get skates in over the summer, and a 28-year-old New Hampshire townie cunt bag took a clapper in a Sunday morning beer league over the summer and hit my stick and snapped it in half, hit it right in the shaft.
Yeah.
And as it happened and like my stick broke into 1,000 pieces, he goes, "Knocking them down, boys, knocking them down." And I was like, I hate you so much. I think I was 19 years old, and I wanted to be like, buy me a new stick, bro.
Yeah.
But I didn't because I'm not a bitch.
Yeah, that's why I can't get on board with this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with the trophy. And a huge thank you to Labatt for bringing us these awesome beer league stories.
I love that kid went into that locker room, saw a cooler full of Labatt, knew he couldn't have any.
And then threw the stick in your face.
Give me a beer. All right, now we're going to do a blind ranking brought to you by Bauer. Great
Dude,
speedboat.
I bet that the stick that dude was using wasn't a Twitch, because that wouldn't have broken.
True.
And that's amazing. Bauer, dude,
Twitch is the best stick in the
Twitch
game.
is the best stick of all time. You actually have one your whole life. Did you know that?
Yes, and I will have mine my whole life.
You have one your whole life?
And actually, that is a lie. I gave mine to Jeff Carter's son.
That's right. But
I stole this shirt from Frank.
yeah. Dude, Bauer Twitch, you're going to have it your whole life unless some scumbag breaks it. And even then, that's good news because when you get a new Bauer Twitch, you get new goal scoring swag because new stick swag is real.
I want to be with Bauer for the rest of my life.
And you will be, and you'll have a Twitch the rest of your life.
This Bauer blind ranking is going to be fan bases / cities, teams, left in the playoffs that deserve to win a cup. And I'm here to tell you this is the worst idea we've ever had.
Because someone's going to get pissed.
Yeah, we are creating enemies for life.
No, not if we make a perfect list of the perfect deserving cup cities.
Everyone thinks that they're one.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Teams know that.
Okay. All right, Wags.
Oilers.
Fuck. Well, Dan, they're very high. They're very high. And is there a bad?
You
is
better
there a
pick
bad,
one or we're going to get a death threat again.
Is there a bad egg in the bunch? Absolutely. But they are a Canadian city that has very little, and those are their words, not mine. They have very little, and they have had two of the great players, one of the best players to ever live for a decade, and haven't got it. They lost in Game 7 last year from being down 3-0.
2.
Yeah.
mine
See,
too.
I think actually I might agree because I do need to save a spot at the top.
You have a lock one.
I have a lock one.
Interesting.
So I need to save a spot at the top, but they're two, dude.
Yeah.
They're good. I'm okay with that.
I cannot go
Undeserving.
below 2.
They're 2.
2.
Oilers 2.
Okay.
Canes.
Maybe a little lower. They've won a cup. Yes, I mean
That was a while ago,
20
though.
plus
And also, there's so much
ago.
like the Canes suck. Everybody hates the Canes.
small market team.
Yeah, and that would be cool for them. And Rod, that'd be cool for
People,
Rod.
even players, shit talking them, saying they're dragging the league down.
And they got
Rod,
some guys. They
great
got some
call,
guys.
Bernsey. Bernsey.
Oh, fuck. But I
this
guess
is-
it's not
no,
players.
this
It's not
is
players.
fan base
It's
and
fan base and cities. And like Raleigh. Does Raleigh need a cup? They don't have much else, to be honest with you. I guess they got the Panthers, Carolina Panthers.
I'm gonna go 4.
4. But it could be 3, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, it always could be.
I think if you think deep about it, it could
I
be 3.
just think I need 4 because I like the gaps. I need spaces.
There is, yeah, that's a good point. And there's also, there's a few things right in the middle there that could swing this whole thing.
Yeah.
That could swing this whole thing.
It does feel crazy to go 4 though, but I just think
Because
I think I'm in Wags' head. I want to go 4.
Okay, 4.
The Stars.
Okay,
You might have fucked us now.
I might have.
You might have
but
fucked us. You might have fucked us.
hold on.
You fucked us. You fucked us with this.
Hold on. I think 3, and I actually think that that's perfect.
They deserve it more than the Canes.
Dude, yes. I mean, no. Everyone deserves it equally. I love you all. Think about it. They've won less recently than the Canes.
Yep.
They've come really close several times.
They have been close. I actually will give you that, the tantalizing nature.
They
of the
also
Dallas
deal
window.
with the constant hockey doesn't belong in Texas.
Yeah.
Dallas isn't a hockey town, and then we see that arena packed to the gills.
Yeah, they
fans
have,
going
and
crazy.
Victory Plaza.
Fans going crazy.
Victory Plaza. Okay, I'm back up. I'm back up to 3.
I think everyone deserves it, but I like them at
I'm
3.
back up to 3. The Texas hockey fan. We got the Texas hockey swag too,
Yes, and I will say now we are in a horrifying position.
because we only have 1 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. But okay. 3.
Jets.
Fuck. Oh, dude. Here's the problem.
Dude, listen to me. This could go incredibly well for us. It could go
I know.
incredibly poorly for us. I'm going to say this. This is how blind rankings work. Okay,
It's Russian roulette.
It's Russian roulette. And ultimately, the fact that this is called fan bases / cities, not players.
Yep.
I love them as a 1. You're telling me that the city of Winnipeg and those fans don't deserve this?
There is a lock 1 that I have, and this was not it. But it is a terrible look to say that Dallas and Raleigh deserve the cup more than the Winnipeg people. I don't want to have them 5. And my lock 1 might not come. That's the whole point. So I hear your argument, but I'm not sure I'm willing to roll those dice.
I am not.
Like, I almost want to just go, I'm so sorry, Winnipeg, but you have to go 5 to leave the chance that I get the 1.
Yeah.
Because there aren't that many teams left to pick from.
I think it's Winnipeg, and I feel great.
Oh, dude.
I think it's Winnipeg at 1, and I feel great.
I don't.
No, 1. You just said it. We can't. This is how the game works, dude.
No, I said I'm not sure I'm willing to roll the dice and not save my 1.
Oh, well, I'm not willing to roll the dice and put them below Dallas and fucking.
Yeah, because this is
Carolina.
bird in hand. This is bird in hand. We know that. We know we have the Jets.
And I will always feel good with this 1. I will always feel good with this 1.
I would feel very happy for the people of Winnipeg.
1.
Okay, 1. Who is it?
The good old Leafs.
God, fuck. Oh my God, dude, we can't post this. This is a fucking melt, dude.
Saw it coming from a mile away, dude.
This is dude.
From a mile away.
If you saw it coming, why did you let that happen?
Because you know what?
Dude,
You know what? Yeah, 5. You deserve it. 5. You got the Raptors winning recently.
Oh, my God,
You're a
dude.
big major metropolitan city, and also you're always yapping. You're always yapping.
Here we
with
go
your
with the spin
67
zone.
bullshit.
Here we go with the spin zone.
Your
dude.
Illuminati bullshit. Every year, oh, it's our year. You're talking shit. You're the best team in the world. You don't know how to be fucking humble. You don't know how to embrace what you are. You're the Cleveland Browns. And if the fans were more like that and just went, you know what, dude, it sucks, but we're here every year. We're so passionate and we just want to win. But instead you talk shit. So you're 5.
Longest drought in the league, dude. 5.
Horrible. This is just awful. I can't believe this happened. What a fucking nightmare.
What a way to end.
All right, well, that's about as bad as a blind ranking can go, but it is what it is. We've got one side of the playoffs tight as a butthole. Mm-hmm. And we've got the other. Remember this morning I said, I think things are just going to go how they're going to go, and I was like, oh, I'm wrong. Then after tonight, I'm like, no,
I'm right.
Half of me was right.
Yeah.
These playoffs continue to be absolutely insane. We're going to keep our eyes on the Diddy trial.
Please.
And all things going on with the league. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, do that right now. Please drop us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple. Follow us on all the socials. We're posting every single day. We've got the live shows coming at you Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. The pod is coming out. We're doing bingo. We're doing everything. CP's rocking some merch. Clean ass crew neck. Got the Netter's net on there. We've got all this shit. Go to our store. Scoop some stuff. Until we see you next time. It's past midnight. I need to get some sleep.
Yeah. So get some rest and skate hard.